Just a few streets from the Duomo, and right around the corner from the gastronomy temple Pec, is the Palazzo dell'Ambrosiana. The briefest synopsis of its history is given on this sign outside the palazzo. More fascinating information can be found on the website ambrosiana.eu, where the first language listed, of no fewer than 12 by the way, is Latin, followed by Arabic and Hebrew. English is the 7th language given, Italian the 8th. There will be signs in Latin later on in this video, as you will see. The Ambrosiana is perhaps most renowned for its library, but even mentioning just a few of its most famous contents would take far too long here. Its most celebrated treasure is undoubtedly Leonardo da Vinci's Atlantic Codex, which can be viewed in the Sala Federiciana, where selected pages are displayed on a rotating basis. The reading room seen here is the modern one from the early 20th century, when the previous neoclassical courtyard was converted to the space used by scholars today. Also housed in the palazzo is the Pinacoteca Ambrosiana, one of Milan's outstanding art museums. The collection is spread out over various floors, and the circuitous visitor's itinerary leads one up and down staircases and repeatedly through corridors of the splendid cloister in the courtyard behind the apse of San Sepolcro. Filming inside the museum is obviously not allowed, but there are a few works, some of whose details I would like to mention even if I'm unable to show them. For example, Titian's Adoration of the Magi contains the unusual detail of a little dog in the foreground lifting his hind leg to pee. Then there's Botticelli's gorgeous Madonna of the Pavilion, Madonna del Padiglione, where the baby Jesus is standing supported by an angel while being nursed in the most startlingly unusual fashion. Bramantino's Adoration of the Baby Jesus, where the foreground figures are all in monochrome hues from white through pale gray to medium gray to black, presaging Giorgio Armani's subdued fashion color palette by 4 centuries. Jan Bruegel's miniature still life of a mouse, rose, and butterfly, Raphael's cartoon for the School of Athens for the celebrated fresco in the Vatican was currently undergoing thorough restoration and was soon to be revealed in a new exhibition room devoted exclusively to this work. Lastly, Leonardo's Portrait of a Musician, seen on the right banner in front of the entrance to the Palazzo dell'Ambrosiana. The musician in question is now considered to be the composer and Duomo di Milano choirmaster Franchino Gaffurio, a contemporary of Leonardo's. Previously, some had thought it portrayed the Flemish composer Josquin des Prez, active in Milan at the same time as Leonardo. These artistic teasers should underline the fact that you need to plan a visit to the Ambrosiana on your next trip to Milan. I exited into the sunlight by the bell tower of San Sepolcro, and, as viewing art always makes me hungry, I walked quickly over to Via Cerva, some 10 minutes away. You are probably guessing that I was on my way to lunch at the Bottiglieria da Pino. Correct. So, from the hushed quiet of the rooms at the Pinacoteca Ambrosiana to the raucous back room at the Bottiglieria, where I wasted no time in ordering my primo, fusilli, with a pesto of celery, celery leaves, and almonds, a Bottiglieria late summer standby. You order one course at a time at the Bottiglieria, by the way, in order to reduce stress on the waitstaff and in the kitchen during the lunch rush. One of their vegetarian dishes is what I picked for my secondo, a pumpkin flan, served in 3 scoops, along with a Parmesan cream dotted with poppy seed. The desserts on the menu which interested me were all finished, so I passed on the remainder and went straight to my coffee. Then I stepped out into the shade on Via Cerva, always a relief on hot days. A few minutes later I was at the Palazzo Reale, where I was looking forward to the Escher exhibit, which had received rave reviews. They were totally justified, I should add. I was lucky that on that day there were no box office queues to delay my ascent of the grand staircase up to the exhibition floor. One of the exhibit's focuses was on how the landscapes and architecture of central and southern Italy had, during Escher's long Italian sojourn in the 1920s and 30s, influenced his unprecedented and instantly identifiable use of perspective, reflection, and infinity. A fabulous exhibition, and afterwards there was just enough time to hurry back to my hotel to put my feet up for a bit before getting ready to go to dinner at Evo Milano. The details of that dinner will be in my next video.